It appears that the Legendary 5Ds decks might just be the greatest product of the year. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys do not miss out on more content. So the openings dropped for the Legendary 5D decks, and I wanted to talk about a lot of the cards that we are seeing within this product, because this product went from being just kind of speculated on being an okay product to being insane. Now, to start things off here, every one of these 5Ds products is going to have these three chibis in them. You're going to get the chance to get the world premiere for the Stardust Dragon, which does actually look pretty good. I got to give them some credit. They actually really pulled this together. The Black Rose Dragon is actually kind of mystifying. I actually like this. For how simple of an art that this is, I think that this is very, very nice. And also, the Blackwing Dragon might not be the greatest card that we have seen, but this is actually pretty decent artwork for them to be able to slap it together and go. Now, every one of these decks is also going to go further beyond this. You are going to get each of our favorite characters here on basically a dual disc for two of them, which is actually kind of cute. Same thing. Looks like Akiza also is on her dual disc. But the fact that these character tokens exist in the first place in chibi art, for years Konami has done this thing where they didn't really want to reproduce certain character cards, but now that time has passed, Konami's realized, well, hey, if we have these specialty arts and these other specialty styles of things, why would we not want to put these into a product? So, once again, these 6 cards between the chibi characters and the chibi synchros are going to be in every deck. So that's your icing on the cake in terms of exclusives, which is okay. Now, if you're a fan of new cards, you are going to get a couple of Yusei's new cards, being one of them being the Full Speed Warrior, which is what? Monsters you control that mention Junk Warrior, or are a Synchro monster with Warrior in the original card name, gain 900 attack during your battle phase only. So this card gets super big in OTKs. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Junk Synchron or a Spell and Trap card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, which is alright. I mean, it's on a 900. We also have the Scrap Synchron, which you can substitute this card for any Synchron tuner. You don't use each of the following. If you Synchro summon a monster that mentions a Synchro tuner, you can use this card in the hand as a material. And if this card you control that mentions Junk Warrior or Warrior with its original name, we strip about a card effect, it gets to sub out instead. And Synchro Fellowship, you get to add a monster from deck to your hand, one Junk Synchron monster and one monster that mentions Junk Warrior, whatever, and then discard a card. And then you can banish this card from your graveyard, target a Synchro monster you control, reduce its level by 1, then you can normal summon a Synchro monster during your main phase. This card's actually pretty strong. And then, of course, we have the Junk Warrior Extreme. So if this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon as many level 2 or lowers from your graveyard, but neither player can activate those monster effects until the end of this turn. And you can only special summon one more time, so they just want you to be able to toggle out into the Junk Warrior by using the second effect, which lets you banish this special summon a Junk Synchro monster from your extra deck. This becomes treated as a Synchro summon when it destroys a monster by battle. And then we have this level 3 Synchro. Monsters you control that mention Junk Warrior or a Synchro monster that mentions it cannot have their activated effects negated, except Junk Warrior. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can take one Synchron or a card that mentions Junk Warrior from your deck and add it to your hand, or send it to your graveyard. And then we have the Hedgehog, that if you control Junk Warrior or a monster that mentions it, except, Hedgehog on this card is in your graveyard, we can special summon it defense mode, and you get locked out of your extra deck for good stuff, which is okay. And then we have the Crossroad Chick, which, if a tuners is sent to your graveyard, even during damage step, we can special summon this card from your graveyard. If it was there, or even not, then if a Junk Warrior monster that mentions it is on your field, change all monsters your opponent controls with 1900 more attack to defense mode. And then for the rest of this turn, you can't special summon from the extra deck. Then we have this really weird trap, the one-way Synchro, which lets you reveal a tuner from your deck or graveyard, neither add it to your hand. Special summon if you control a Junk Warrior or a monster that mentions it, and this card is in your graveyard, you get to reset it, but it vanishes when it leaves the field, which was okay in terms of new stuff. And then over here we also have a very, very much needed reprint for Revolution Synchron. Honestly, Revo even getting a mention or a shrivel of hope here was one of the best things to come out of this. Now, this picture, this is the moneymaker shot, baby. All three Mulcharmies are in this product. I repeat, one of every Mulcharmy is present within this product. Konami really pulled this together, because the only one that they had advertised before was Meow's. And that was, I mean, we were okay with that. By the way, guys, remember, cheers. Konami coming through and actually giving a crap about the player base here. Now somebody's going to be like, well, I got to buy 3 of these to get 3 of each Mulcharmy. You basically needed to buy 3 of them anyway if you were wanting to pick up, you know, the Power of Fellowship stuff as it was. And now I understand, you know, for your price point here that you're working with, I no longer feel really bad about looking at this product and, you know, not defending it. Because one of every Mulcharmy is nuts. You get tokens to top things off, which is wonderful. You get one of all of the new cards, and every single one of the decks has a Mulcharmy wrapped up with a nice bow slapped on the top of it, and Konami says, here, everybody, I hope you get the chance to enjoy this holiday season. This was truly the holiday product of the year. And they have done a wonderful idea bringing this all together for the casual player that wants to get competitive with every single modern era staple that you can think of. But Robbie, wait, modern era staples? Yeah, so we go even further beyond this. Well, first of all, we get to see what the tuning common looks like over here. I'm not particularly too crazy about that alt art, but, you know, I'm willing to let it slide. I'm kind of okay with this. They do some wonders for this. Now you're also going to see, is that Crossout Designator in this deck? Yeah. This is actually, I think, the first time we're seeing a Crossout reprint in common. And I think Konami did a wonderful job actually pushing this out to the community, because this is something that you needed. But also, Forbidden Droplet now has a common. I don't know if you know this or not, but that's crazy. It might only be 1 droplet. But, I mean, Droplet was already pushing, what, like $4 or $5 for the lowest rarity. So now that we've commoned it, it's going to help, I think, a lot of the player base out trying to get those. And then we see Spooky Dogwood over here. Obviously, time rules have changed, which does kind of stink, but I think you want to have a copy or 2 of Spooky Dogwood just on the back burner as a potential side deck card. Now, one of the biggest reprints in here is actually the Garden Rose Maiden. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but before this card's reprint today, this was a $20+ card that if you wanted to play any of the Black Rose stuff, you were getting penalized so hard for. It was such an expensive deck. So I'm not surprised to see that reprint. And then we get an actual chance to see Vayu getting an Ultra reprint. I'm glad that this feels very much like an Edison style of reprint, but it's good that Konami is actually willing to go out of the way here for the player base, trying to make sure that, you know, we get some good stuff. And then our last, you know, run through here, we have Icarus Attack getting another Ultra printing, which is not really too crazy. We get Blackwing Armor Master getting another Ultra reprint, and you're getting some Droll and Lockbird access in here as well. I also believe that there is multiple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, multiple Imperms within this deck, which is wild to me, but they have gone above and beyond with this product. And it's crazy to think about that this is actually the banger that we have been waiting for. So if you think the Legendary 5Ds decks are bad, you're crazy. So please, comment down below what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons! Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.